And then we'll share. Waiting for the peace dealer. Oh, okay.
It's
All right.
okay, awesome. I got it.
Perfect.
Sharing is caring.
What's up, Nosh? What's up, Just Jade? I see we got some friends and playmates in the building already.
Got playmates in the building.
Yeah. Shout out to Astro Phoenix and Tiffany P. Shout out to y'all tuning in. This is the Divine Trine weekly horoscope. We got Starface, Jay Trizzle, and the dealer in the building. We in this bitch. Thank you very much. I hope y'all are exceptionally ready for quite the week in breakdown. I think it's progressively gotten a little bit crazier each week. And considering we're headed for a Saturn in Aquarius square, Uranus and Taurus, I think we're in for a climax. So, yeah, how you doing, Starface and Jay Trizzle? It's good.
Ever since I adopted this name, my life has been going a lot differently. It was a few minutes ago, but my life feels a lot different ever since then. I think it commands more respect. And I think that I'm going to start going by Jay Trizzle. I'm going to change the name on all my videos and channels and just be like, hey guys, it's Jay Trizzle. Hope you're all doing well. We got some horoscopes in the building today. It's going to be great. I feel a whole new life sprouting from this.
That's what's up. Make sure you cop our debut album, Divinity. Spelled
Divinity, yes.
Exactly. Divinity. Yep. Divinity coming soon. It's called It's Real Out Here.
It's real out here in the
Our hit single will be
oh man. True Divinity.
Divinity.
We got Lady in the house. We got Sheesh the Beast. We got Leah. We've got several people here. Everybody, can you guys all comment your rap names?
Yeah. Give us your thug names, your street names.
Yeah, we want to hear you
Give
guys
us your street names.
Oh,
creation. I definitely want to hear yours.
Throwing up the signs, all that.
Yeah. What was that?
Illuminati signs.
He threw up a few different types of signs. I was like, I expected West Side, and then he sort of started going to the Illuminati thing. I was like, whoa.
Yeah, can't forget the Illuminati side. Oh, can't forget this too.
Oh, yeah.
Illuminati confirmed over here. So did I clean my webcam?
I saw that.
I'm not trying to catch it. First of all, I don't think black people are catching anything this round. We had Ebola, so the universe is like, y'all good this round. Don't even trip. Checks and balances. So it is what it is.
Project Sparkle Motion. That's a good one. Young uppercuts.
Uppercuts. Nice. That's actually fire.
Oh, Sheesh the Beast. Well, yeah, no.
He already has the street
name. Your name normally. Okay, yeah.
Oh my God. Sinner in Sin City. That's what's up. Oh, you know what? My bad. Can I get that link that I should paste in the description box? Or you know what? I'll just go to the old video and I'll copy paste that one.
Not if I send you a new one first.
The race is on.
Dun, 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 dun. Sent it.
Damn it. You're so fast.
Awkward.
Oh, you sent it in the Zoom chat. Nice.
Yeah.
So they call me Jack's the guy who sends things in the Zoom chat.
Nice. With the random options.
Kim, your rap name is Triple Heart. That's a good one. Jezebel.
Jezebel in the building. I like that one.
I like that too.
Nice. Wait, that's really what's up. What's up,
About to
spiritual
get
gorilla?
sinful up in here.
Oh my
Fine.
God.
That
So how's everyone feeling?
sounds like this week.
The
Besides
worst.
the
So
commotion.
bad. No, I'm just joking. No, things are great right now. Things are really great. Despite everything that's going on.
Yeah.
Things are moving forward. That's what I'm feeling. And everyone I'm talking to, everyone I'm doing readings for, everyone where I'm actually individually talking to a person, like people seem to be doing really well and making a lot of breakthroughs right now because of everything that's going on in our collective. But when you look at like entire collectives or groups of people, everyone seems to be in like epidemic mode.
That's called group consciousness influence. It's the sheep, not the sheep mentality. Well, it is the sheep mentality, but I like calling it the hive mind.
Yeah.
Because when you think about bees, worker bees, and they all communicate, they all just know like what to do and stuff like that, because like telepathically pretty much. And so that's the same thing that's happening right now with people who tap into or fall under this group consciousness of fear, of panic, and like, oh my God, the apocalypse. They're feeding into it, and then in so many ways, because it's such a powerful dynamic with everyone tuning in all at once, it can create, pretty much like self-fulfilling prophecies, and so that's why I always tell people, like, be mindful of what you react to, be mindful of who you believe in or what you believe, be careful, because there is such a such a power behind everyone getting together and believing in something, that it actually can manipulate and manifest it into reality. Like, for example, with curses, I'll give you guys a great example. People believing in curses is a great example. When there's a whole community of people who believe that something is cursed, right? Like a location is cursed, an object is cursed, like a family in a haunted house. They believe, oh, this is haunted because we're told it was haunted. And so they merge their energy into that group mentality of a haunt or a curse, and therefore they are able to then create systematically through their own perception things that can relate to the curse or to the haunting, and they're like, oh my God, see, I was right, it is haunted. Oh my God, see, I was right, I am cursed, or that is cursed. And so this is very powerful thing. It's like humans don't even understand or realize how powerful they really are in their creation, in their manifestation of these things, And so if you put in energy, as well as your emotions, as well as your mental state into something, it can manifest. And so it's like, instead of us highlighting what's wrong with something, instead of us feeding into the fear, let's go ahead and manifest a better reality. Like, people have been telling this like since the beginning of time. There's a way to manipulate energy. There's a way to manipulate your existence so that you can thrive over adversity, and stuff like that. But again, because people are not that self-aware, they are then being manipulated into that group mentality, and so it's just kind of like, take your power back. That's the whole, I always see all of this as a big lesson, is taking your power back, like all of this.
Yeah, don't be a worker bee, be a queen bee.
Exactly.
Make your own hive.
Make your own hive mind, right? Yeah.
So basically be Beyonce.
Give off pheromones.
Right?
All the
Queen
time.
bee.
Tons of
Well, who was the original queen bee though? That was Lil' Kim.
Hey, she got bars too. I love how you said taking your power back, though. That's exactly what it's felt like. Every facet in myself, where it's almost as if my own self held me back and was like, okay, like these are the ways in which you haven't honored yourself as far as demanding respect or, you know, taking your power back. Let's get this clear. And it's been really amazing, you know, to kind of like call yourself out on your own like languaging and everything. So
yeah, because then it puts all the responsibility and the ability itself to do something about it on your lap. You know, it puts it takes it out of like you being in this pure receptive phase where it's like, hopefully everyone's good to me, otherwise life's gonna be bad. It's like, no, just be good to yourself.
Just be good to stuff. Yeah, and it is definitely like taking responsibility for you, your thoughts, your actions, your words, what's your energy like, you know. And so even your belief system, there is something called cognitive dissonance that happens to people when they're not ready to move forward with their lives, especially if they have been cycling in and out of just misery, disbelief, you know, having less faith in themselves, things like that. And so when it comes to us, especially people who are out there polarizing energy like us, where we're the opposite of that, it pisses them off because it drives them into like a system of like questioning, and they hate questioning the things that they're used to believing in. And it's like, no, it's called evolution. Like it lasts, you know, I would say when I was little, you know, I had a different type of, you know, belief system. Then when I became a teenager, it changed. And now that I'm an adult, it went back to when I was little, you know. And so it's just like, it's an evolution of the self. And it's also understanding that in order for us to gain better perspectives of our own soul, we have to question it. We have to question every single thing that we feel makes up our personality, period. Like that we feel that is true, right? And so a lot of people are uncomfortable with that, with self-examination. And because then they're going to find that there's a lot of things that they believed in that was actually a total falsehood or lie or fear-based, and they're uncomfortable with that. And therefore, you know, people like us that are polarizing that, where we're showing them, hey, if you're focusing on something that's fear-based, then it's gonna come true, you know, like especially if you're constantly thinking about the worst case scenario. And it's self-fulfilling. And so when we say that to people, they don't like that. They don't like taking responsibility for the shit that happens around them, you know, or their choices, or, you know, things like that. And so it's really, this coronavirus is proof of that right there, that we, all of us who are watching right now as well, that we've been saying this for a very long time. It's proof that how important it is to take back your power, to be mindful of your shit, you know, pretty much your thoughts, what the hell you're believing in, questioning that, you know, questioning yourself, you know, and so that you can evolve.
Speaking of which, you know, one thing that's really good is strengthening your immune system right now. And so what I've been doing is I've just been licking door handles, handrails, like anything I can to get as much bacteria as possible. And, you know, I just, that's another great way that I take my power back. It's like, I've been just laying a lot.
You just need to go into you know, like a hospital and be like, who has coronavirus? Okay, can I get them to cough on me?
You know what's funny is I actually did that with pollen once. When I moved to Massachusetts for a while, they have a way higher pollen level, at least last year, than Oregon does. And I've never had allergies, but I got allergies when I moved to Massachusetts. And so I was like, you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to go outside every day. I'm going to sniff like pollen, not like snort of it, but pretty close to that. And so I just sniffed it every day. And then my body finally got used to it after a week.
Yeah.
My belief is like my body is, I don't need allergy medication. I need my body to get in line.
To get used to it, yeah.
It's supposed to be able to fight these things. So I just expose myself repeatedly until my body
know,
hey, fine.
An easier way to do that is actually getting local honeybee.
Oh, well, maybe that would have been a much more pleasant way of doing it.
Just eating it before you get there, and then you'll be fine.
You could just get the local honey. Okay, you know what?
I'm just saying that's easier.
God, I feel really stupid now because they're just sniffing lines.
Process though, but you're doing it. You're preventive. It's a preventive measure, so you won't get the allergies when you get there.
Well,
but it's the same process.
Allergies again, I guess I'll just have some honey.
Yeah, because one of the girls that I go to school with, she's Native American. And she says that before because she moved to South Dakota from Montana, she was saying that before she got to South Dakota, she knew that there's a lot of like allergens and stuff like that. So she had her family send her, local honey, as well as local plants, like medicines, things like that, like root plants that they use for medicine, so that she can get her family used to this before she moved, because she's really like natural when it comes to medicine. She doesn't take any like pharmaceuticals or anything like that. And so she got her body acclimated, her family acclimated, and then when they moved, they're perfectly fine. She said because she learned her lesson last time. She said that she went traveling and she got really sick. So she started like, okay, I'm gonna just do this instead, like preventive measures.
That's crazy.
But you're on it though. You're definitely tapping into like the way that healers think, like that's definitely what we've been taught, like as shamans especially. Take the local honey, take the local, environment, bring it in before you go there,
so just ingest it in some way, just eat it or sniff it or whatever, just just take it in so that it's part of you and then you're part of the environment.
Yeah, you're not dumb. I'm just saying that it's the same thing, it's just you're definitely intuitively tapping into that's been taught to us, so
yeah,
you got it.
I need some Corona honey.
Corona. It's funny because like when you look at, because I learned about pathogens in microbiology, and as well as in for him, like this, it was microbiology. And so we were looking at the actual structure of the encasement that the virus is in, right? And it's like, okay, so this is a seasonal thing, so it looks like it's definitely gonna minimize when it gets hotter, but it can, like, it's just like the flu, it could come back, when it gets colder, things like that. And so any type of measures that people take to prevent viral infections, if it's a natural way, then they can definitely do that for the coronavirus. But again, it just depends, because when you're comparing, statistics, looking at the flu, there's different forms of the flu, influenza A, all that stuff. And with the corona, it's the same thing. It's classified under SARS, and therefore it is an upper respiratory infection, virus that attacks the bronchial tubes in the lungs, and it builds up fluid, just like with especially when it's cold, especially it kind of like it moves into pneumonia, into that stage of pneumonia, because of the fluid buildup. And then because your body isn't or is trying to fight it, it starts to actually harm the cells as well. So it starts to deteriorate the lungs at a faster rate. And if there's actual evidence, or there's actual like you're already infected with some type of upper respiratory issue, like asthma, bronchitis, things like that, you're more susceptible to having it spread faster. And a lot of people, that's the issue with these cases that are like out there with death or whatever, is because they already had something going on, before they contracted it. And so in the cases, it just starts off as a cold, but if they already have issues with their lungs, then it's going to go into that stage of pneumonia, creating pneumonia, and then from there it's going to spread, because you can't stop it at that point, I guess. So that's why Italy, for example, is like one of the biggest epicenters right now of the virus spreading there, more than it is in China, because they have a lot of issues with people, unfortunately, that have upper respiratory issues to begin with. And so I would just say, I mean, honestly, it's all about, you know, taking care of yourself, period. Like, don't go out there doing stupid stuff like, oh, I'm gonna go, you know, like go into like a hospital and just have somebody cough on me. Like, it's just, it feels like there's just so much stuff that people don't understand about viruses, and if they start learning and start studying, then they'll know that there's nothing to really freak out about. It's just, it's more like the whole, again, hive mind, you know, like they're tapping into that fear, and therefore, especially if they're empathic, then they're like, oh my god, like freaking out too, even though they're going to be fine.
That's the most fascinating part. My bad for interrupting. That's the most fascinating part about like Neptune being in Pisces since 2012. Like the direction the media has taken, the exposure the media has had.
Yeah.
If you think about what Pisces represents and the potential deceptive quality, how do we know? Like, and I think that's something that's forced us to kind of like, you know, be our own researchers. But like, a lot of everything we're told right now is completely hearsay. Like for so long, like we can only take the word of the reports we're receiving outside of our own personal experience. So it just makes it so much more fascinating when discerning, like, how can we trust what we're being told or shown?
Yeah, even truth is being weaponized. Like even things that are true are being told in such a way that it will push a specific movement.
Yeah, it'll push a trigger of fear, you know.
Like really, like you can clearly see the way that, I mean, politicians have always been politicians, but you can clearly see now how many politicians have these people in their ear that are like, hey, you're going to want to say something like this because, you know, this is going to appeal to these types of people. And not even just in the very direct ways that it used to be, where you'd see people like putting on a fake accent when they were somewhere, or, you know, like pretending to know about the local kids sports team of a particular city, even though there's no way they would realistically have known anything about that. But now it's like so subtle, just like mannerisms, the way that the truth is being told. It's it's all clear manipulation. Like it's all very crystal clear. And anyone who looks at any of this with objectivity is seeing that, you know, the world is essentially doing this hilarious thing where now that we have access to the greatest potential, greatest amount of information, we're using a bunch of emotional arguments back and forth in a
Yes.
and it's so funny because this should be the time where we have the least amount of emotional arguments, mob mentality. We have all the tools to have the least amount of that. And yet we're intentionally doing more of it because they can.
You know why? And it's exactly like that. But also remember, when something is dying, when something is dying out, it'll fight till the end to be, you know, like to be relevant. And so these politicians, these news, you know, media, their numbers are down. You know, they're down. Not many people are voting. Not many people are out there supporting, you know, the mass media outlets or anything like that. And so they're fighting tooth and nail to sensationalize things so that they can bring back the people. They can pull them back in because they're dying off. And that's the thing. It's like they're dying off with the fading of Pisces. You know,
when you said that, when you said they're dying off, my card fell, and the card I picked up was the death card.
Boom!
I thought that was amazing.
All right, guys, that's basically everything for today. Spirituality.
People are dying.
You know, and it's definitely a different mindset that's going to come in, a different way of thinking, a different way of being, and therefore these people who are still clinging on to that, wanting to be relevant, they'll do whatever it takes to be relevant. And so, yeah, that's exactly what's going on.
Yep. I think I think you said amazingly though how like there are people dying off. I think the hidden layer of this is how, you know, Pluto has just been taking home the older generation slowly but surely, because it's not affecting young people. And I don't mean just like coronavirus, just like the shift of where we're headed to collectively. I think it's easy for us to see because we are in a field where we extend our energy outside of time. So we're connected constantly to, you know, life as a continuous experience and not linearly. But a lot of people aren't aware that, like, the world they're in is over. It's like energetically the world is over, but physically it hasn't gotten there yet. And it's like it's happening though. So it's such a it's such a left field was what I was going to say. I think once again, like, if you're watching this, if you at least have some type of quote unquote spiritual practice, you're already in the new world. Like, your issue was your spirit's there, but your body is still here, versus other people who refuse to step into this like greater sense, because it's not new. Everything we're doing is since ancient times, but really embracing it as something that's not novelty and still trying to make work these old systems that are collapsing. And this is the best part. You said it, Jack said it. If you're watching this, you said it. We have verbatim spoke of repeatedly of the collapse of these systems for years now, and it's happening. It's actually happening. This is crazy.
Exactly.
And all we have to do with ourselves is be honest, because if we can be honest with ourselves and we can recognize what darkness really is, and we recognize our capacity for darkness ourselves, that we genuinely have the chance to do something about it and to be able to move past it. And if we stay in that old paradigm where we're trying to think of ourselves as darkness free, no capacity for darkness, no issues like that, then we'll continue to be blind and manipulated by the actual darkness. Because the thing is, it's not a problem that we contain the full spectrum of the yin and yang. That's not an issue. That's part of the way we are, and that's a good thing. And our recognition of that is what can free us and help us find the path between, you know? And so right now in the world, like, the irony of these emotional arguments, this polarity, this light and dark stuff, everyone keeps thinking that the other side is pure light or pure dark. It's ridiculous. And we have to really pay attention to the gray of reality, because reality is just, it's this mix. It's this perfect mix of what's in between. And it's about identification, and it's about speaking our truth. And the funny thing is, the more honest we get, the more we actually find the real truth. Even though our original honesty is based off of us and imperfect, it becomes the truth over time, because it ends up starting to align more and more with how the world responds to that truth. So it's the time. It's totally the time to be out there and to be speaking about this.
Exactly. Oh, I love it. I'm excited. I'm just like, yay.
I think excitement is the right word, despite the pandemonium.
Yeah.
Because ultimately, like, the most incredibly amazing like, it's interesting, even though for all effects and purposes, the apocalypse is here. Like, this is basically what has been prophesied, but like, this is going to bring some of the greatest experiences. It's just, when you purge, you have to go through the negativity first. You have to purge out the darkness before the clear is out. But I feel like when people think of apocalypse, they think of the world ending and storms taking over stuff. Actually, the first 3/4 of an apocalypse cycle is some of the greatest shit ever. It's cool as hell. It's just that last fourth that's cataclysmic. But other than that, like, right, you know what I mean? But like,
well, when you think about it, it's in the Christian fashion or in the Judaic way, in Islamic way, you know. And when you think about the Bhagavad Gita coming from the the Hindu religion, they have apocalyptic like wars. You know, the gods are fighting in the heavens and things like that. To
like right now,
who rules the earth, right? And they didn't see it as a bad thing. They saw it more or less like a struggle between good and evil in their mindset of yin and yang, and understanding polarity. That's what the whole purpose was, understanding of polarity and how both these things can work together. And then you think about it in the other stories besides the Hindus, you have in Mesoamerica, you have the creation stories, the cosmology of the Toltecs, as well as, you know, and other tribes in the Americas. There's stories of floods, there's stories of endings of worlds, and there's stories of beginning the world. This is called the fifth sun, the stories of the fifth sun, and that's like in the Mayan tradition as well. And all of these people, they didn't see it as something bad. They saw it as a renewal of like, kind of like rejoice because you're in a new world now, you're a new person now, you know. And it's like, it's only when it became translated into like, and it's, again, the translation is what gets people into, like, you know, in Judaism, translating, you know, Hebrew into Greek, and then from Greek into English, that's when the translation started to be askew. That's when like people started to like just transform it into more of like a fear thing, and things like that. And therefore the stories become that way, and whoever tells the story, they add to it. And so it's kind of like these stories have been around for a very long time, and so it just depends on how what culture takes it in, what, you know, religion takes it in, and how that's going to play out, like how they're going to tell it. And for me and my culture, it wasn't a bad thing. It was like a renewal of the human race, a upgrade of us, you know, from common to fantastic spiritual, you know, beings. And so it's just I don't know, I just think it's funny and it's fascinating how like there's so many train of thoughts of this, and and wherever you fall into, that's what you're going to perceive, and that's what you're going to experience.
I think the best part about this is that it's just nothing new. Like I think the sensation makes it seem like it's a one-time thing and it's going to be the end, but like Pluto gives it away. Some of you are here for this. Like some of the reason why some of you only incarnate during the end of ages in order to facilitate, you know, new transitions. So it's important to know that like apocalypses or end of ages, it's not the first time this has happened. I mean, the last cycle, if I was an ancient Incan, it would have been the end of my world in order to come into a new one. So we're just coming around another cycle, you know.
Yeah. And it's like, and I'll give you guys a story of the fifth sun. So, you know, in Mesoamerica, back in like, we had a golden age, right? The golden age of the Toltec. Everything was at peace. Everything was beautiful. Everybody was in harmony. And then they had their apocalypse, right? Where they disappeared because a new conquering tribe came into Mesoamerica from the north, and they eradicated the belief system there. They made war and they took over. And then that was the Aztecs, by the way. And so then they had their own radical transformation too after that, with the conquest, with the conquistadores of Spain, you know, and they were eradicated, and Mexico was transformed completely, you know. And so that's their apocalypse right there. That's what the fifth sun represents. It's that every time there is going to be a new race coming to change things, or possibly, like a lot of people believe, aliens, you know, like coming to really radicalize or change something, you know. And so it's just kind of like people saw it as, the Aztecs saw it as the end of their empire, as the end of their people, because it's true, everybody's mixed now, you know. But before that, the Aztecs came, you know, to Mesoamerica and eradicated some of the tribes there. You know, they don't exist anymore, some of them, and they mixed with the rest of them. And so that was the end of their lineage right there too. So it's just a continuation of that.
That's truly fascinating. Especially, you know, considering, like, let's take this week alone. This week, which is, by the way, spring break for me, thankfully. But yeah, I think that's kind of amazing how this is the very last week of Pisces season, and you know, the next time we're gonna have energy like this is 2023, March 23rd, 2023. We're gonna have Pluto 29 degrees Aquarius, and Pluto 29 degrees Capricorn, and Saturn 0 degrees Pisces. So, this week we see Saturn going from 29 degrees Saturn into 0 degrees Aqua with the sun, which is the best part. Like, and the haunting accuracy with how the transits move. I need to show you guys this because I feel like once you see it, it gives so much context. Like, how do the planets dance with each other so well? As you can see, we see the moon traveling through Capricorn, unveiling and literally giving us the secrets to this transformation.
Yeah.
It goes into Aquarius, and then it goes into Pisces for the balsamic phase. And right as this goes into 0, it's like we're starting this brand new cycle. When this starts its brand new cycle. And I want to kind of fast forward into 2023 here, where once again, like if we even like, when I saw this, by the way, I was freaking out. Like I almost like kind of, but like you can literally see the sun moving into Aries right as Pluto is getting ready to finish. So please know everything moving forward is so divinely orchestrated, just like it has been. Like we are getting ready to end cycles on cycles in ways that may make most of you feel obsolete. Some of you may feel like, what the fuck do I even do, when there's nothing to do because you've done everything that's supposed to be done is done. We're getting ready for a brand. I like to equate this to where all your favorite networks you were watching as a kid, well, that network, every show is having a season finale. And it's like the network isn't going to put any new shows. And it's like, what the fuck? Like, what do I watch now? Like, I had most of my friends, right? Most of the friends that I made were because of the shows we watched. Are we gonna be cool? Like, what new networks are gonna come up? What new friends? Like, so like it's crazy. Like we're having to build an identity around all the stuff that conditioned us up to this point. And that Saturn in Aqua, new moon in Aries is really developing your own authentic persona and connecting, which is why I feel like we're in the future already. Like you're looking at Saturn and Aqua, right? You're looking at 3 different people who are coming together to spread forth and express who we truly are, which I'm so grateful for you guys, by the way. I think this is super awesome.
Yeah. Grateful for you too.
We got rapper names now. Like it's lit.
That's our street name, all right?
Street names. Street names.
Remember back when we had normal names?
I used to live in Compton, so I get street cred.
You used to live in Compton? That's wild. Wow.
It was at the borderline, so it was like a nice area.
Okay. Does that, I guess it counts still, I guess.
Yeah, it does count because when I was 13 years old, I almost got shot. It counts.
Oh, that counts.
Damn.
Okay. Rule: if you almost get shot, you are good.
Nice.
Yeah, it was like I was rollerblading like up and down our neighborhood, and then my sister and her friend were like just sitting on the fence line talking. My neighbor's kid was like yelling at us, just like we're just having fun, and then this guy comes up, and he was from a what gang was it? I think he was a Blood, and we weren't used to seeing people like that in our neighborhood because it was actually an upper middle class neighborhood. It was really nice, and we're just like, where the hell did this guy come from? And so he's walking down the street, and he's clearly on something, and he like just starts brandishing his gun, and he's like, I'm from Blood, whatever, and I kill Mexicans, and we're just like,
oh wow, he had a whole
shit. Okay. Yeah, we're like, oh shit, is this for real? Like me, I was like, is he really here?
I would have been like, did you rehearse that? Like, do you have like a whole
right?
I was more like, is this really happening right now? And my friend, my sister ran to our neighbor, and and my neighbor was like, oh my God, get Ari. She's like just staring at him like, what the fuck? They grab me. They're like, you need to run. I'm like, oh. They ran up the stairs.
That was crazy. Wow.
Yeah, I was just like, this is really happening? Like, I was so confused. I was like, this guy is really doing this?
Yeah. He kind of sets the bar pretty high. I got to start introducing myself.
Right?
Yeah, and
I have, like,
they found
robots, like,
him.
theme music. I want to have my own music when I introduce myself.
Yeah, they found him like
Here we go.
yeah.
Jay Dizzle again.
They found him.
Yeah, the cops found him at the liquor store laughing his ass off because he was like, I think he was on drugs.
That's possible.
What the fuck?
It's like, yeah, I scared the shit out of these little kids earlier. Like, oh my god, what the hell?
What the fuck?
For y'all who aren't aware, Jax is a Latin king, Ari is a Crip, and I'm a Blood. And see, we're all coming together. This is gang unity.
Look, I just realized that's so perfect. That's so perfect.
We're unifying the gangs. This is
Yeah, you know what? That is what the Latin Kings are all about.
It's funny because in my family, like there's extremes. Like my mom moved away from LA to closer to the Bay Area to avoid that stuff, right? And then my other family lives like South Central LA, and they like that was like a typical fucking day for them, you know, like without like drive-bys or whatever. And so she didn't even say like, oh my god, are you guys okay? She's just pissed off. She's like, why were you guys out there to begin with? And we're like, what the fuck? Okay, mom, yeah, we're okay. She tells my grandma, my grandma, and then like all the family, and they're like, oh, that's good that they didn't get shot at.
Right.
Okay.
That's amazing.
Oh my god. Like I was just like, my family's so like the total opposite. They're so used to that stuff. I'm just like, oh my god.
Crazy how like times change and some things stay the same while other things just like completely shift. Kind of like this week. What's your so
there's going to be gangs in 20 years?
I think they'll probably have a different form. Maybe.
Yeah.
Maybe the new gangs will be like Boy Scouts or Girl Scouts.
Or maybe they're just going to be online hackers.
Buy my cookie. Oh yeah, hackers for sure.
Because they all get together in their groups and they're like, we have a target and we're gonna go target them. You know, like it's just that's how they do it usually. Like, or with the trolls, online trolls, that's what they do. They have trolling communities. Like, what the fuck?
Trolls are the new gangsters. Damn. The crazy thing is that could be very realistic too.
Yeah.
I feel like we're headed into a time where like you can Blue's Clues this shit and like just leap into someone's computer screen, or someone can just be where you're at, like boom, locate you, and like it'll really be on site.
Into someone's computer screen so bad, that'd be the best thing on earth.
Dun, 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 dun.
What was it? Blues Weekend too? What was the thing he always rhymed it with?
You're right.
Dude.
Let's
see.
see.
He made up words. Blue Skidoo Weekend too, and then he would hop in. Does anyone remember this? I remember Blue's Clues. I like that was a really big part of my childhood.
I was too old to watch that. You guys are like younger than me, so
we're like slightly a minute or two younger.
Oh,
Blue Skidoo. Blue Skidoo. That's what it's called.
That's a made-up word, right? There's no such thing as skidooing.
Otherwise known as skidooing. It's a common action. Actually, it is. Wiki confirmed.
You're telling me I can start using the word skidoo all the time?
Oh god, this is so Pisces.
Yeah, I'm gonna skidoo over there really quick. Just go check out the scene. The skidoo.
As we close out Pisces season, you will learn how to skidoo.
This word back with a full vengeance. I'm gonna be using this.
Lurking on your ex's Instagram page, just skidoo in one of her pictures today.
When you just said that, I thought about like the phrase skeet.
Oh my god.
I'm not gonna
skeet. Skeet skidoo, skidoo skeet, nice.
You're gonna go skidoo and skeet. You're gonna skeet skidoo over there.
I'm not gonna go ahead saying that. I'm gonna say skidoo. I'm not gonna say I'm gonna go ahead.
First I skeet, then I skidoo. Oh my god. All right.
Skidon't. Oh my god.
Skidon't, right.
Yeah. Oh, that's good actually. I'm gonna borrow that if you don't mind. I'll give you credit, but third eye activated, skidon't.
Skidon't.
Skidon't. 32 skidoo. Okay. Wow, I love how we just started talking about skidooing. This is very Piscean.
Yeah. And I'm gonna try and use it in dead serious, like sentences as well. I'm gonna be like, yeah, I gotta go skidoo over to this funeral over here, and and just have people be like, oh, like I can't laugh because she's saying it's about a funeral, but like, what the fuck are you
doing? What? Blue skidoo?
Yeah, blue skidoos, and I as well can. Be like, okay, that doesn't rhyme.
You should look at him serious, like, you can't skidoo? You've never done it before? Like, it's something everyone does and shit.
Go like this a bunch of times, and then you just fly into it.
Oh, you haven't been initiated. I'm sorry. Forget I just took. Here, look at this camera. Flash.
Oh my God. All right. You guys want to do the weekly?
Yes. And this week you will skidoo to a very magical place.
Yeah. We should just.
We're coming out of a portal.
No, we have another pick a card to do this. What type of skidooing are you going to do this week?
Yeah. You got to try your best this week. You got to be serious. Oh, actually, you will have to try your best and be serious? Holy shit. Okay.
What are you doing? Which ones are you doing?
That's a great question, Ari. The answer to your question is Earth. Okay.
What are you doing, Mike?
Fire this time. I don't think I've hit fire.
I'll do water and air. I guess I need that. I guess I need my emotions.
Who?
Oh shoot! Okay. Nice. Boom. Let's get it. All right, fire signs. As I do this, I want you to focus on a desire or everything you desire. And if you don't have fire, if you're not a fire sign, you can still bring up the fire in your chart. Right off the bat, fire, I'm picking up an age-old dynamic and dilemma where your existence is almost offensive to pussies. I mean, to people who kind of just, it's almost as if like they're mad you shine in the first place. Fire, if you're feeling this urge to apologize for being vibrant, for being you should probably be more of what is irritating other people, because you are an active agent to expose what is inside of these people. They're triggered for a reason. You're not Earth. You're not here to really live by the norm. You're literally here to fuck shit up, because what does fire do? It burns, right? It illuminates. So keep that in mind. I'm picking that up heavy. It's like you're just minding your. I'm getting this with air signs too, but I think it's more fire that's the root. It's like you're minding your business, but then it's like other dark energies like just reacting to you to get a reaction from you. Like you're minding your business, but other energies are trying to get your attention by be like, oh, look at that fire sign just shining, and just what a loser, what a lay, like blah blah blah. And I think for the most part, fire, you're oblivious. Like you don't even really care because it doesn't matter. But just keep that in mind. You might have to deal, coming out into Aries season is opening the door. And you might have to be like Stone Cold Steve Austin, or like the bad wrestler where people are booing and you're just like, what's up, motherfuckers? Like, yeah, I'm gonna still get, rep me. I'm still like, say what's up to y'all. I'm not gonna let it phase me. Another thing to keep in mind is that like you're dealing with people who like you, but the politics don't allow them to like you. So it's like you're dealing with people who like on in public they may not act like they like you because they're trying to get in play with someone else who may not like you, but they actually really like you. So you're about to see these politics kind of fall under themselves, when, you know, real always wins over fake. So I'm saying this because certain people this last yearly cycle who weren't talking to you are going to start talking to you. And they're going to give you a lot of tea. They're going to give you a lot of dish and be like, this is what this person was saying about you. This is what I've seen about you versus what was said about you. And what I've seen about you and how true you are betrays the lies about you. And it's all going to come clear. This is clearing all that 12th house energy. So yeah, once again, we got the Lord of Defeat. 5 of Swords is this miscommunication. And see, the reason for this miscommunication energy is you're scaring and terrifying people. You're triggering people. You're not living in the way that other people want you to live. So now they're making up reasons, excuses to dismiss your character. It's all bullshit. And it's like, instead of like doing the thing where it's like, okay, for the sake of peace, I'm going to kind of like just accommodate this bullshit and let people, you're just like, what's up, motherfuckers? I'm gonna do more of it. Like, what's up? And it's exposing people's true characters and it's making you look like the bad guy, but it's actually a good thing you're doing. So keep that in mind. This is unorthodox fire. Usually 5 of Swords advice would be like, don't fan the flames. But no, you actually want to be like the lone warrior that's like triggering the shit out of people who need to be triggered, because the people who have integrity not going to come at you like that. But it's like negative. It's like a chaotic neutral energy utilizing this chaos to bring about a positive revelation. So for Aries, we have the 5 of Wands, which some of you Aries are going to be fist fighting. I mean, we literally have the 5 of Swords and 5 of Wands. You're clashing with differences of character. You want to stand out by entering in the competition. So if you're in any competitive environments, go into it because you're going to stand out instantly. But be very careful about a clashing of personalities because it's going to get very bravado. It's going to get very egoic. And just remember, it's not about that. Leo, we have the 3 of Swords. So you are the sign of narcissism and drama. Leo, you teach people that it is okay to be narcissistic. It's just not okay to have a narcissistic personality disorder. But Leo, you teach us that it's okay to love ourselves. Just remember, with the 3 of Swords, you're confronting betrayal. You're confronting these fake ass, lying ass, acting one way. You know, hopefully this isn't you. I doubt that, Leo. But it's like the 3 of Swords is really coming into awareness of this betrayal of people who wanted to just use your name, of people who just wanted to use your fame, be a part of your entourage, but never really loved you. So you're kind of, but with the 3 of Swords, it's not like everything with fire I'm getting. It's not about being civil. It's about like being, normally, you know, people will be like, oh, just don't make a scene. You're making a scene this week because people need to be called out. But for Sagittarius, you're just making money. It's so interesting. It's like amidst the chaos, we got the Ace of Pentacles. You're able to take this and manifest with it, which is just very mutable and magical. So once again, with this Ace of Pentacles here, Sag, you're coming into a new income stream, but it's more than a new income stream. It's revolutionizing how you manifest. And this is why certain people are going to be jealous of you, Sagittarius, because they're going to feel entitled to some of this. And I think they're going to find out the hard way that they were never a part of those plans, even though they did no work towards it, but they feel entitled to it. And yeah. So that's what I got for fire.
I'm gonna be like Capricorning their asses. Like, yeah, you think you're entitled to this, motherfucker?
Yeah, that was so funny. Like looking at the comments while you were saying all that, because all the fire signs were like, yeah, I do need to do that. Yeah, it's like they were just you just encouraged all of them to just.
We're like, yeah, let it burn.
Let it burn.
I wonder how much chaos the world is going to have because of
right.
Are stepping into a really similar energy, actually. Earth signs. You basically are going to be put in this position, starting with Taurus, where you're going to either have to destroy your tower or destroy another tower. And another tower doesn't have to be another person. It can be another concept that you know that other people are connected to. But it's very clear, you can disrupt or you can be disrupted. And so it's not even a matter of attacking a person. It basically means, though, you have to be ready for something to be torn down. Either your argument, your belief, the thing that you're fighting for is able to withstand a storm, or it's not. or another person's belief is able to withstand a storm or it can't. You have to be ready for some offense and defense. You can't be purely defensive. You can't avoid conflict. That's just not possible. And it looks like as this conflict is coming, it's important to just be prepared. Like Taurus just needs to be ready for what's coming, the storm. And honestly, the best way to handle all of this is not to expend all of your energy, to keep all of your energy in its reserves, to be ready to go, to be very fixed in place, not charging forward. And if you're fixed in place, then you'll be able to continue to just gather up the Earth's energy and handle the storm when it comes. As far as Virgo, though, Virgo has judgment. So Virgo, you're going to have to start being really honest about how you see the world and how you see the people in your life in it. You have to be honest about when there's other people in your life that you don't want to cause problems. You don't want to basically create an issue where there wasn't one occurring naturally. In this particular case, you're going to have to speak the truth, whether or not it causes problems. And the irony is, it actually causes less problems than you imagine. In your head, you look at the million ways that this could manifest into a problem after speaking out. But the thing is, it is your truth. And if any of the people that you love really have a problem with what it is you value and what it is you believe to be true, then they're kind of revealing to you if they really care about you or not. Because the thing is, you don't have to agree with everyone that you care about or that you love. All you have to do is respect the fact that they are an adult and they get to have their own opinion. They get to have their own belief. And if people can't give that to you, then that means they don't love you because they don't respect you. And respect is such a powerful cornerstone of love. The ability to really hear someone out and be able to listen to what they're saying and not necessarily agree with it, but to understand where they're coming from. So understand where you're coming from, be honest about it, and then be extremely vocal about it. And don't worry about the consequences. And as far as Capricorn, hilariously, once again, the elder sign here, they're separated from all this. Like for Capricorn, it's like isolate yourself, take a bit of time, like focus, rest, let yourself rejuvenate, create stability. This is all about mental health for Capricorn right now. Capricorn needs to understand that there's so much good and so much difficult energy that's all charging up at once and creating all this static electricity that you've got to be able to really listen to what the universe is saying, worrying about things happening in a methodical pattern. They're not going to. Some of the things that are working out for you are happening in a bizarre side way, a way that you totally didn't expect. And you'll have to make peace with the fact that this is going to continue to happen. You're going to see pretty intense transformation that you have no control over. And you'll have to be okay with just having no control over that. And if you can be okay with that, then you'll be able to accept these gifts from the universe and use them in a really powerful, amazing way. If you can't accept these gifts, or if you have to have it your way, then you will end up having less, even if you work harder. So now's the time to definitely rest and be open-minded.
Nice. All right. So the water signs are having some of them are having a good week. So we got for Scorpio in the beginning for this week, you have the magician energy. So it feels like you're creating something. Like there is definitely like a new wave of understanding within you when it came. There was just a lot of I'm feeling a lot of energy that propelled you to this very week. A lot of like chaos, a lot of things that you had to deal with emotionally speaking, a lot of just heartache. I felt like the impulse of like pain and suffering and letting go. And because you finally allowed yourself to let go and integrate and to rebirth a new way of being, then you are definitely in the magician energy where you can create now. You can use this energy and project what it is that you want to create for your future, especially this week where you're gonna be able to finally, step out of your shell, go, to take a different direction in your life, like letting go of the past. It feels like it's definitely financial as well as business. Like it feels like you're moving from a different financial situation to a better one. It feels like it's kind of like it was necessary. All that heartache, all that pain, all the suffering that you went through was necessary to get you to trust yourself and to trust that, you know, God, like your creator really has a purpose for you. And you know, the job that you left behind was toxic. Like you already knew that. And now you're going into something better. So that's what I'm feeling, like that magician energy is transforming all of this energy that you went through into something more positive. You're bringing in and manifesting your, you know, what it is that you want in your reality. Okay, Scorpio. So the next one is Cancer, and Cancer is in the same boat, where the Three of Ariel, which is the equivalent of the Three of Pentacles. And so you're definitely stepping into something that you love to do. You're definitely moving into a situation. It feels like it's a combination of family and career, where you're finally at peace and balance. You're being able, you know, you're able to balance that, both the career and the family life, where you're just like, wow, this is actually working out for the best. You know, all that stuff that I went through has propelled me to this very moment where I'm finally accepting the facts that I deserve this. I finally accept the fact that I do deserve, you know, love. I do deserve abundance. I do deserve, you know, all this peace that I have right now. And so it feels like there's definitely a change in mindset and career, and you're expressing more artistically, like you're expressing your emotions in a more, it's a healthier way, I would say, because it's like they're saying like creativity, art, and all this other stuff is coming and it's flowing out of you. And so you are creating something very beautiful with the emotions that you've had, with the, you know, all of the stuff that you went through as well. So it's definitely you're out of the storm for Cancer as well, just like Scorpio.
You go, Cancer.
So for Pisces, you're still a little bit in there for this week. Pisces, it's time for you to see what Cancer and Scorpio did to get themselves out of it. Ask for some assistance, okay? Because this is the Five of Michaels, the Five of Swords. You need help. Okay, it's okay to ask for help. It's okay to just be like, you know what, I really feel that this isn't for me. Being honest in where you are in your life, especially if something's not working out, especially if it's a relationship that's not working out. Like there's this thing of you needing to be honest, because as soon as you move away from the storm, and then you go into, you know, much more happier and more, you know, like happier, you know, new beginnings and things like that. It feels like there is a lot that doesn't serve you, Pisces, that you just need to let go of. And it's okay. It's okay. You shouldn't feel guilty with being honest, with letting go of someone, with letting go of like a career path that you thought that that's where you were headed. And now you're thinking about it and you're like, no, this is not it. This is not for me. You know, it's okay to move on. You know, consider your feelings, consider yourself over other things. Okay, so this is what it is. It's like it's time for you to finally let things go, so things will get better for you, Pisces. So that's what I have for the water signs. And we're gonna do air. Just need to shuffle. Let's see. Okay, I'm hearing Aquarius first. And then Gemini. Ooh. And then Libra. Ooh, you guys have good cards this week.
Let's go.
All right. Go. So for Aquarius, you have the Nine of Gabriel, which is the equivalent of the Nine of the Nine of Wands. And so this being said, it's like kind of like your determination to move forward from, you know, being in the shadows, I would say, into the light, like being in someone's shadow and being like that supporting role and moving forward it finally into like a leadership role is really important for you, Aquarius, because you know internally that you don't belong in the shadow. You don't belong as a sidekick. You don't belong behind someone's, and helping them, be glorified and things like that. It feels like Aquarius is finally going to be like, I'm stepping into my light. I'm stepping into my leadership role. I'm here to assist. I'm not here to continuously be, in the back burner or be the second thought to someone. And also there feels like there's a positively kind of like a humanitarian trigger to this, where you're going to be given a project. You're thinking outside the box with these projects. Therefore, that's what gives you that ability to be in that leadership role, because no one else has that same mindset. No one else is going to think of these ideas but you, Aquarius. So that's why these opportunities are coming for you this week, for you to finally shine. Okay. All right, the next one is Gemini. So the Four of Ariels, the Four of Pentacles. So this is definitely like you receiving as well as giving, because you have more than enough financially speaking. You have a lot of love. You have a lot of it feels like communication is really important. It feels like you've communicated your wants and needs to the universe, and bam, the universe is bringing them in this week. And so it feels like a Gemini is going to get like either a flow like of abundance in many, many ways, like either loving relationships, possibly, why I'm hearing this, I don't know, maybe there's somebody who's pregnant who's watching. They don't know this yet, but I'm hearing pregnancies for Gemini women. I'm also hearing financial abundance, like in monetary gain, like a flow of abundance, like a big one. Like they're going to be like, holy shit, where this came out of nowhere. Holy shit. Like, it's just, you're just manifesting this because you asked for it. And all of a sudden, bam, here's the universe giving you your credit back. Here you go, man. So this is awesome. All right, so the next one is for Libra, the Knight of Raphael. And this is the Knight of Cups. So this one, it feels like a commitment coming up. Like a romantic commitment. It feels like there is a possibility that you are going to be running into someone new. It also feels like for those who are in a committed relationship as a Libra, it feels like the spark is going to reignite. There's going to be a deeper emotional connection with your partner. I keep hearing babies too for you guys. It just feels like you're creating. Like a creation, like energies combining together to create life, energies combining together to create or manifest the life that they want as well. And also for those who are single, you finally finding someone that you can definitely see yourself with. Like you can definitely say like, hey, this person is actually, reputable. They're not crazy. And they're really laid back. I like that. I can see me hanging out with this person for a very long time, and so it feels like that new emotional connection. It's going to be a deeper thing for you guys this week. So that's what I have for you guys.
Woo! And that concludes our weekly elemental forecast. We're now going to step into the live reading. So please refresh the page if you don't see it, but hit up the description box below and you could sign up for live readings from Divinity. All right. The dealer, Starface J Trizzle. Once again, debut album, It's Real Out Here, coming out soon. And Babyface Gang.
It's real out here in the spirit streets.
Oh yeah.
We've got Kim Yancey's first, then Andrew, then Zack, and then Patricia. So if you guys can just comment your questions if you have them. If not, we're going to go ahead and do general. And just so everybody knows, we're going to be live for about 40 minutes more or so. So if there's anyone that gets readings after the fact, we're going to just impromptu plan another live so that we can do your guys' questions, or you can just wait for the next time. Either way is fine. But we're going to be live for about 40 more minutes or so.
So first, and what kind, is it a channeled or card? for the first one?
We've got 1 card readings open, and we've got channeled readings. Kim's first one is the channeled.
Channeled. Okay, awesome.
You got a question, Kim? Because if not, we're about to channel all over the place.
I'll be like all over your energy right now. Just kidding.
Ari's gonna be up in your face.
All up in your energy.
Yeah, all up in your energy.
Can you feel me?
It's getting progressively creepier. We're sort of.
Oh, damn it.
Kim's probably like, what the fuck?
Just Jade is Patricia. Whatever comes through. Okay.
1 card, 3 cards.
Oh, 1 card. So right now, so Kim's gonna have a channeled, and then I think Andrew has 1 card, and then Zack has channeled, and then Patricia has 1 card. It's back and forth in a pattern. If everyone can keep this pattern going, that'd be awesome for my OCD. I would appreciate that. You can just want these things in that order. Okay.
Magic. It's everywhere. All around. Ah.
Where the heck is Kimmy? Kim Yancy, right?
Yes.
Let me see if I can. I saw her earlier.
I know she's feeling a little bit under the weather. So
Kimberly, okay.
Get it off.
Can I start hers first?
Yeah, well, apparently you're starting hers because you're all up in her energy already, so.
I'm not, I'm just messing with her.
Literally, yeah.
But I'll start her first. I'll do a quick eval and let her know what I see. And then you guys can like pick up whatever you pick up from her energy. Where is Kimmy? So we can start this. Oh. You're welcome, Nessa Sin 22.
Yeah, Tino, I'm quadruple Libra. Mr. P Steeler over here is Gemini, and Ari is, of course, Sagittarius.
Of course, like it's a bad thing.
So clearly Sagittarius.
Clearly.
Sagittarian all over the place.
You would have said earlier, if you have babies, you got to take responsibility for bringing Sag into life right now. So
yay!
That too.
Baby Saggies!
Oh, that's why you're telling us all to go out and get a bunch of people pregnant. That's what I get it now.
Like I kept hearing like Gemini and then of course Libra, which are like the mass producers.
You're plotting to be the godmother of me and Michael's children.
Yeah.
Very clever, Ari. Very clever.
Nice one. I like it.
I didn't even realize that this is the like time, but you know what? It makes sense because my dad's birthday is on it's I think soon. Yeah, it's tomorrow. My dad's birthday's tomorrow, and apparently I was born right after. Like, I was like, I bet you I was conceived on his birthday. So that makes sense. All right, so we're just gonna move on, and we'll do Kim's later because I don't see her responding here. Who's next after Kim?
After Kim is Mr. Andrew.
Andrew Day.
And this is the 1 card.
1 card, okay. Andrew, are you here? Mr. Andrew Day, paging Andrew Day.
Ooh, Andrew. Andrew's got so much powerful social energy right now. And it's funny because...
Channeled?
What?
Channeled?
No, he's 1 card.
Gotcha.
Kim was channeled.
Okay.
Yeah. But Andrew, you've got King of Cups right now. So it's definitely a really important time for you to be out there. for you to be expressing yourself. This is something that it feels like you're already doing, you're already expanding yourself in this way. Showing your vulnerability is definitely part of your power, and also the recognition of what it is you're saying that is for giving advice versus what it is you're saying that is empowering people, and recognizing the difference. It feels like you're very conscious of this right now. You're stepping into this, you're being a part of it, and you're utilizing all of the water energies. I feel like a lot of Cancer energy from you right now. I'm definitely feeling Scorpionic energy and Piscean energy, and it feels like this is something that is, you're using it in a really seamless way. You're sort of shifting between these different things, and I feel like it's a form of self-exploration. So for as much as you're maybe advising people right now or expanding through social contact, like you're clearly reconnecting with yourself, a part of yourself that's been locked away for a really long time. So just keep on doing that. Stay on this path.
All right. So what I got for you, Andrew, was the 8 of Raphael. And it's the 8 of Pentacles. Okay. So what I'm feeling and I'm gathering is that there's definitely a new path that you've decided to go on. Okay. Even if you haven't made the physical changes, like it's like you're definitely already energetically on this road. It feels like it started like midweek last week, and now it's like full blown, like, yes, this is what I want to do for the rest of my life. Yes, this is exactly what feels right for me. Okay. And so knowing this, you're on the right path for yourself. Don't be in, don't doubt that you're on the right path. Another thing that I want to point out is a spiritual quest. It's definitely related to spirit, to your own soul's need for self-expression in this manner. And like Jack said, tapping into yourself, tapping into your own guidance as well as emotions, how you express them is really important right now for this, especially the way that you can help people heal through that expression, help them heal through understanding your empathy, as well as your abilities to pick up on cues, emotional cues, and the language that they use to express themselves, as well as the mannerisms. So it feels like there's definitely a heightened intuition now for you, and that is like maneuvering you into this path even further. So big changes. Okay, so that's what I got for you.
Cool. So what we got for you is the universe. I kind of feel a lot like what Ari said as far as like realizing something you're willing to do for the rest of your life. When I met Jax, that was I don't know if it's the first time I met you, but like that was the card that he pulled, the world, and the energy I got with that was just like manifesting all your desires in the physical. So you're graduating at this period. All your life's experiences are getting ready to step you into the next level. And in your case, I'm sensing that there's certain doubts that have impeded your progress, not because they're real, but because you've respected certain energies, insight, that haven't been able to see into what you can do. So it's like as soon as you rid, and it's not even in a sense where like those doubts are hurtful. It's just like someone not realizing that you're actually an amazing salsa dancer, but they're like, nah, you're not good at salsa dancing. And you just have to like not listen to that and show people, oh, actually you had these hidden gifts the whole time. So yeah.
So new stuff coming for you, that's for sure, Andrew. A lot of changes in a positive way, not like, oh my God, I'm not ready for this. All right. So who's next?
Next we have Zack, who's doing channeled reading and no particular question.
So Zach, let us know if you have a question or not. We're just going to start doing your reading. And if Kim Yancey is in here somewhere, let us know. I smell food. Grandma's making food. Oh, there's Kim. So Zach, let us know if you're here. If not, we're going to do Kim's real quick. You're welcome, Andrew.
Andrew, right off the bat, I'm getting that you have a double-edged sword in your heart. You love way too hard, and this is actually the best thing about you. And when I say you love too hard, you can actually be like quite grounded. It doesn't mean that you have to be passionate, but it's like because you've loved so hard, you have also exposed a darker side to people that is devoid of reason. So it's not like I'm going to avoid this type of person, I'm going to avoid that type of person. It's like your insight has opened up a harsh truth that has now subconsciously made it hard for your heart to love because it knows instinctually it's going to get hurt in some capacities. So I'm not trying to say this into saying that you're afraid to love, because you're not afraid to love, but it's this philosophical dynamic and dilemma where it's like, even though your third eye is showing you, here's an example. It's like you've learned that no matter how much you show positivity towards certain groups of people, there's going to be evil as fuck. And it's like you've learned now them having that darkness shouldn't stop you from loving anyway, because that's what your love is going to transmute. It sounds all positive, but your light will trigger their darkness, and in exposing it, you've helped them release it and also see, what the uglies they have inside. I hope that resonates with you.
All right, so Zach is here. He says no questions, just y'all rock. Thank you. And then we'll do Kim, because Kim just general as well. So first we'll do Zach and then we'll do Kim.
So Zach, the first thing I'm getting is that right now you're working against the tide. Like it's this feeling of you having your hand on this chain and you're underwater and you're pulling up a heavy object. So it just feels like there's nowhere to plant your feet. It's like impossible to do this, or at the very least you're questioning if it's possible to lift this, heavy situation out of your life right now. The thing is, it's absolutely possible. It requires that you continue like going against the tide, that you continue swimming. But essentially right now, it's all about persistence. If part of you is questioning if this is even realistic, it's so important for you to remember your original assessment. You knew that it was realistic. You knew that following this path for yourself right now could be done. It's just that other people have started to try and get your head. Life, has made you, basically forced you to be patient and to continue pulling up, even though there's nothing surrounding that's sending out encouragement. And so you basically have to self-create all of this. You have to be persistent and work against that energy and work against that weight and pull it up, even though it feels impossible. So to me, that feels like the most important thing for you to know is just keep going. Don't question if you even can and then give up and then just try again some other time. Like keep going no matter what, no matter how much it hurts.
all right, Zach. So I'm just going to go ahead and see what's going on energetically. Okay, so one of your guides is actually nearby, and it's a feminine energy, and she just popped on saying the polarization of masculine and feminine is something that you need to work on. So kind of like they're showing me kind of like this line and like going, all the way down, like kind of splitting your body in half. And they're saying, it's time for you to merge them. So with the merger, that means emotions as well as logic need to be merged. There seems to be like this displacement of energy. Like there's a heavily emotional energy instead of logic at this time. It doesn't mean that you can't go into the logic side of things, but it just means that for some reason right now on your path, you are connecting to emotions deeply. There seems to be an alternative energy rising as well, and it's a feminine energy, and your guide is saying this is the cause of it. This is the cause. It's a kind of like a mirror reflection of what needs to be addressed emotionally. There could be a woman in your life that is triggering these emotions, it's triggering your need for evaluation of them, okay, and understanding at a deeper level. There is no weakness in emotion. That's what your guide says. There's no weakness. Okay, this is actually empowerment so that you can understand how everything works internally and therefore project the best way with dealing with situations, especially with difficult people. I feel like this woman is showing you this through the interactions. Okay, also feeling like what Jack said, it seems to be like you're fighting against that. Okay, like it feels like you're fighting against the tide, where tide is, you know, your emotions. Also feel like one of your guides, she's definitely helping you with this because she's feminine energy. She's helping you understand that this is empowering. Okay, when you understand your situation better, your emotions, and you connect them in a deeper level, and like even using your logic, your masculine side to assist you with this, then that's when you start to balance. That's when you start to let things go. That's when you start to merge completely the masculine and feminine and understand that this is just something that needed to be balanced. This is just something that was showing you something that was off, you know, and time for you to evaluate so that you can help other people that are in similar situations eventually, with their own, you know, with their own emotional health and mental health, you know, things like that. So it feels like you're heading in that direction. That's why you're going through this stuff right now. So that's what I have for you, Zach. And then Kim is next. So I'm just gonna, Kim, you're going through some stuff. So I'm just gonna tap in real quick, okay?
Wait, time out. Did Michael do Zach?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I did it first.
Yeah.
Appreciate you.
All right, Kim, I'm just gonna tap in real quick and see what's going on, okay? So if you feel tickling in your bottoms of your feet, that's me. This is kidding. I'm kidding, Kim. Probably would. He's like, what the fuck? All right, so let's see. Okay, so I got tapping for your heart space. Third eye is super active.
Hey.
Holy cow, girl. You're getting a lot of downloads. Oh my God, your hands and your arms are like just a lot of flow of energy just going up and down and just like, wow, girl, you are definitely transforming. Your DNA is being activated. Like your own self is receiving the stuff, the codes and the light codes and the DNA activations that you've asked for. But the thing is going on with your heart space is kind of like a need for you to express it or to share it with the world. Okay. There's also like in the back of your head, there's like this a little bit of doubt still, like a limiting belief about your abilities. I'm feeling you're stepping into something more of like a not traditional, but like more like a healing, healing modality. Okay, I feel like you're gonna explore your own, you know, cultural backgrounds, healing modalities, and you're going to incorporate them into your practice. Okay. Oh shit, you're definitely going to be a healer. That's what I'm hearing. Like, oh, she's ready for it. She's ready to do hands-on. She's ready to do you know, healing on people, distance healing, things like that. It's just that doubt in your head that's telling you, oh, I don't think you're ready. I don't think you're ready. You are ready. Just start to, you know, if you need to know more information about like how you know, energy works in the systems of the body, like the chakra stuff like that, then look for that and understand it better and thoroughly, and so that you can have more confidence in like providing the service to others. Okay. It feels like you're definitely going to tap into, you're in Georgia, right? Because I'm seeing all of these like kind of like Atlanta. I'm seeing like African roots. I'm seeing like Hispanic as well, like a combination of both. Like you're gonna have someone who is gonna lead you towards learning more about these healing modalities from these cultures, as well as tapping into your own ancestry. There seems to be again a release of heart energy, and but you have to bring it in as well. Okay, so it feels to be like you're definitely upgrading in this way because there's a lot of energy that you're releasing, but now you have to focus or refocus the energy into something that you really know that you can do. Okay, so stop doubting yourself. Like one of your guys is like, stop doubting yourself, girl, you're a healer. So definitely stepping into that, but also working with your own healing abilities to assist yourself in healing that self-doubt. Okay, it's really important. All right, so that's what I have for you, Kim.
Yeah, what I got right away, Kim, is you feel super pent up and frustrated about waiting. Obviously, as an Aries, like you're gonna not like that too much. The thing is, though, it's like it's a total illusion. I saw you just opening door after door after door. You don't have to wait for clarity. You don't have to wait for the right answer. You don't have to wait until you have a certain path. You just need to start opening door after door after door and trying out all kinds of stuff, and then it will be imperfect while you're doing it. You know, you'll start things and not finish them, but to actually use that to your advantage and to really test out the waters and see what you really want to do, like moving forward. And to me, I would say, you know, especially the way the vision felt, I think it's also connected to your future, connected to your healing, connected to the work you do in this world.
Mm-hmm.
Just channeled, right?
Yeah.
I see a very magical and majestic horse, kind of like in the children's shows, but also kind of like in a science fiction narrative. It's it like has like rainbow tassels. So it's like a white horse, but it has like rainbow, not wings, but like tassels or whatnot. And I'm seeing that this horse is a symbolic representation of almost like a rainbow bridge. It's like it's a totem that appears with you, but it doesn't show up for anyone who isn't pure hearted. And in fact, I'm seeing, okay, so like when you deal with pure hearted people, the horse shows up, and them seeing you in their life is an actual totem that they're getting ready to come into the next level. Not a career breakthrough, but a breakthrough of happiness and love in life. And so it's like I see this horse taking their spirit and escorting them across the rainbow bridge when their souls are. So be very mindful if you're dealing with anyone who doesn't have integrity. Maybe you might not know this, but they'll start to be fidgety in your presence, because now that white horse turns into like a black horse that almost looks pale and malnourished, and like starts to like get at that person's soul, to not just judge them, but to take them to like, I see them almost taking them to a purgatory like space, or entities attached to this individual to like a purgatory like space that's like, it's not like eternal damnation. It's like a period where they go through like a series of cycled lessons until they get over their own selves and stop being assholes, and then they learn through it. So the thing is, this could happen in a simple conversation with somebody, but just keep in mind, because those with low integrity, they're gonna dip, they're gonna be fidgety, or they're gonna avoid you. And it's not you they're avoiding, it's your horse friend that is not playing no games. It's almost as if like they escort. And it's so weird to say, because this is having in a spiritual sense. So they still have their physical lives, but like, yeah, you're escorting people to like heaven and hell. It's amazing.
That's great. That's like your vision is like an amalgam of like 3 different spiritualities. Like that has like a very Norse tone to it, the bridge, and then of course a biblical tone to it with the 4 horsemen.
Yeah.
And then there's some other, I can't remember. I don't think it might be Native American, but there's another culture here it's either Chinese or Native American that matches that as well. It's like what you just said was like an amalgam of all three of those cultures together.
Awesome.
So
She
cool.
said she has that spirit guide, the horse.
That's amazing. Yeah, it's a fly ass horse too.
You're a metal horse too, right, Michael?
Yes, sir. Metal horse. Metal horse gang.
Metal horse all day.
That's what's up.
And Ari, what are you?
Or what?
The
Chinese rat.
Rat.
Metal rat?
I don't know.
Oh, let's look it up.
She could be metal rat, right?
1984.
Metal rat.
Okay, that's the same year as David.
19. Yeah.
Oh, you guys are born in the same year?
Yeah.
He's just 2 months older than me.
Wood rat.
Wood rat.
You're a hood rat. It just rhymes. I couldn't not rhyme it.
Starface.
You know what? I'll teach you a lesson. No, just kidding. Where's my steak? Where's my steak?
Over here, I'm in California. Can't stop me.
It's the year of the rat, by the way.
What is it? What's the kind of like information about the wood rat? Because I know the rat is just like kind of like a, what is it called? Not it's kind of like not an industrialist, but kind of like they build the opportunist. Yeah. So what would the wood rat represent?
Resourceful rat, the influence of sensitivity, artistic ability, appreciation, perhaps more so than other members of the rat side. And the wood rat depends on artistic expression and natural surroundings. I can't stop hearing hood rat now. Thank you.
Yeah, thanks a lot.
I'm going to send you this link. The wood rat is one of the most befriended out of the rat signs because of their loving and humble nature. Oh.
See, look at that.
Oh, look at me. I'm humble.
Yeah.
Hardworking and practical too.
I always feel like it's definitely why I tap into earth energy more, because of that. Just sensing that my earth is more powerful than other energies because of how practical I am with money and how I want to build things, and I am really good at successful actually in a lot of things. So it's like that Capricorn like drive, like.
I love how
but
both
it's because of my Virgo rising. That's what it is. So.
Right. You both got earth elements that align with the wood rat. He got the Taurus moon. You got the Virgo rising.
Mm-hmm.
That's awesome.
I love it. That's why I was like always like very baffled when people express themselves as like not being able to succeed in something. It's just like, well, it's not that hard. You just gotta keep going. like don't give up. Well, it's true. It's like I don't understand it, you know, like because I've never been
try hard.
I've never been a quitter. All right.
Oh, Norma's a metal rooster. Yep, metal horses, metal rooster. Is this why you have a massive migraine? No, not because we're horses. not our fault.
Because ouch.
That's
Thank you.
Oh, honey.
No.
Kim, go. I want you to do this. So right here, because of the back of your head and then the front, I want you to go at the same time simultaneously and pull down. Pull the migraine all the way down and ground it. Okay, continue to do that until it fades. All right, because you can definitely heal that.
Speaking of which, now we have a 1-card reading for Patricia.
Whoop.
Oh, Patricia. Got a new journey that involves your identity right now. Essentially, like, so with 3 of Swords, a lot of times we always think of this card as an ending, but we have to remember the 3 is the beginning energy. This is the energy where movement truly begins, and you're past all of that preparation phase. You're in this place right now where essentially a friend or a relationship has been lost now, or you know, you just feel this disconnect from something you really cared about or a person you really cared about. And what this is doing, though, is this is the beginning of your new identity. because what comes right after the Three of Swords is the Four of Swords of rest, to reflect on who you really are, to reflect on, you know, how you can have your own stability, because you can't rely on other people to, you know, you can behave in such a way where you show other people your consistency, but we can't always expect that everyone else is going to meet that, or that they'll be able to keep up with that. And there's times where we have to recognize we've got to walk off in our own direction and forging our own identity and truly preparing that within, look at all this purple, it's within the spiritual realm. Finding our own self gives us the guidance that we need, not you know, not relying on another person or another situation. So if you think that you losing some of this energy recently, or you losing this person was a loss, the reality is this is like, it's the preparation. We're clearing the table so that you can start to, you know, you can put your canvas on there and begin your own masterpiece, because there's one that you were co-doing with someone else. It just wasn't working out. So you had to skidoo in another direction.
Skidoo.
Look at his face.
He got it though.
He's just like,
damn.
all right, so what I got for you is solutions, or the Temperance card. So I am picking up the same thing, where it's kind of like making it's like balancing energy. What isn't, you know, relative now? What doesn't like exist in your energy field? What is it that you want to bring in? What is it that you want to manifest? And also being very mindful of this, especially when it comes to relationships with other people, is being mindful of who you let in, being mindful of who you give your energy to, your time, your friendship, things like that. So it feels like there is like you really, to me, what I'm seeing is you're really heart-centered, and therefore you really are a loving person, and you just feel like everyone else is the same way. And that's kind of like a Piscean trait. But it doesn't mean it's a weakness. It just means that you got to be more mindful of who you let in. You have to be careful with relationships. You have to definitely understand that people are different. Every person is different. Not everyone is exactly like the way that they think of the world is very different from the way that you think of the world. You like to share a lot of yourself with people, your heart, your love, your affection, you know, your friendship, things like that. But not a lot of people are willing to do that with you. Okay. And that's okay. There's nothing wrong. It just means that you need to start moving forward in your life and realizing, hey, not a lot of people are worth your time. And so with that being said, is the balance of understanding your own self, your own needs, as well as understanding that other people are different from you. Okay. So it feels like there's a need for you to forgive as well, not the person, but yourself, and understand, hey, I had to learn this for a reason. I'll be much more mindful of who I interact with next time. Also, you know, it's a time for you to heal. It feels like there's definitely a need for that, but doesn't mean that you're gonna be, you know, ice cold for the next friendship that you have or interaction with other people. It just means that you're gonna be much more like you'll see the red flags. You'll be more mindful of that. Okay, so that's what I have for you.
One card.
Yeah.
Oh, nice. So the last card I got was the universe. This card I have is the sun. I want to kind of point your attention to the light rays hitting these two happy ass ladies. This is about to be you and your bestie just dancing. And I think there's a quality to this that's just like so needed. I almost get the feeling that, yeah, there we go. Okay. I was going to say, I almost get the feeling that like you're dropping whatever negativity is plaguing or dealing with you, and it's just the sunlight hits. And now I see, like, if I open this, we have the Five of Cups, which is the Lord of loss of pleasure. It's like if you were feeling disappointed, if you were just had this negative energy around you, that is about to drop, and then the sunlight, it's like you're just gonna go from probably being like, I'm content, or I'm mulling over stuff, to yes, inspirational happiness and beauty. And like, this is going to charge in your heart, and you are now going to be the ambassador of this light and share this light with others. People are just going to be seeing you dance and be like, I want what you're having. But the essence and theme I have is almost as if like an old chapter is over, and it's like nothing even mattered anymore. Like, you probably were having to deal with like stuff that did matter, but this positivity is so good, it's gonna make that not even matter anymore. It's like, wow, don't even have to be stressing about this anymore. I think that's why you're gonna be dancing like, who would have ever seen this coming? So that's what's up. It's one of the best.
She's dancing naked around a fire. Just kidding.
And it came with the lovers too, so love could be central part of your feelings. Oh,
The lovers. All right, so who's next?
Next, we have Mike Portal.
woo.
Mike.
And for Mike, I have a channeled message that's been trying to come through for like 5 minutes.
My
I'm
name's
so
Zack.
excited. So Mike, the energy I pick up from you right away is not to question your own power. If you question your own power, then it effectively doesn't exist the moment you doubt it. You know, this is all something that operates within us. Like I feel you envisioning these near future events. If you stay on this track and thinking that those moments of vindication will then create or keep this power, but in reality, you already possess it. You can't doubt it, and you've got to start applying it and understanding it exists right now. And power doesn't require evidence. Power exists with or without evidence all the time in a million different ways, good and bad powers. So now's the time for you to remember this internal power you feel, this desire to take your moral compass and then actually bring it into action and bring it into the physical. That's possible right now. No matter what trials and tribulations and challenges you still have, you are ready to do this immediately. So like, now's the time to venture forth. There is no journey that will make you into the hero. You're already that hero who's ready to take it, you know? So that's what I've been feeling.
Awesome. All right, let me go ahead and see what's going on, Mike.
One card, right?
Oh, this one's
Channel.
All right, so what I'm seeing is a lot of like kind of like limiting belief systems around all of your like area, like around here, your head, your thoughts, your thought forms. Your own thoughts are the things that you need to challenge. Okay, the way that you perceive yourself, the world, any limitations, any perceived limitation. And I'm saying this in quotes because there's really none that exist. Okay, and it's like it's a human thing, right? Where we're programmed to believe that we can't do certain things. We're programmed to believe that we're limited, that we're stuck in this human flesh, you know, and we can't, you know, be super awesome people, you know, and so or powerful, like Jack said. So working on the dialogue that you have with yourself is really important. Anything that's negative, and you probably hear a voice that's very familiar, and it's not yours. It is. I'm hearing like your parents' voice. It's probably like you heard it over and over again as a kid. Something that reminds you of the way that they treated you, the way that they said things to you, things like that. And so I'm catching like a masculine energy too. So it feels like you're hard on yourself because they were hard on you, and so you don't have to seek perfection. You already have everything that you need. Okay, you are perfect the way that you are. I'm also hearing like you have to have more faith in yourself, in your abilities, and the way that you maneuver through your life. Everything that you've experienced was for a very awesome purpose, because you're here to assist many with the same experiences. You're not just here to just suffer, so to speak. You're here to overcome. Okay, and with the overcoming, then you are able to assist others through their own stuff, you know. And so it feels like there's just a lot of potential that is right there, and you know you have a lot of potential. It's just that self-doubt, those limiting beliefs that are holding you back. Okay, so I would definitely recommend you doing some inner child work, as well as like just catching your thoughts. Like if you have like a negative thought, going back and just saying, no, you know, I am worthy of this. I am powerful. I am, you know, things like that, so that you can stop the negativity. Okay. It takes time. It's not going to just be overnight. It does take time. You just got to be mindful. Okay. So that's what I have for you, Mike.
I'm so fascinated because Ari's message is literally my message. It's just she took a more third house aspect of it, and I was going to come from a more ninth house aspect of this, which immediately I heard Mike, like, what's blocking your connection with the higher power and the higher powers that you connect with is your view on God. You have to completely change forever how you conceive or perceive God, or the concept of God, or the concept of higher powers, because there's what you personally know, and then there's what you've been told and been taught. And it's like you can't resonate with what you've been told, because what you connect with the higher power is totally different. And it's more so because you yourself are a higher power. So you don't see these beings as higher beings to worship. You don't see these beings as kind of beings that you have to kind of like have some kind of dynamic with, as opposed to just being aspects of you. So you're having to rediscover. It's interesting because it's not like you don't know. You actually do know, but I think you kind of like put it to the back burner because what you've been taught about God betrayed that. And it's like, no, Mike, you are actually right. In fact, you're here to teach the rest of us how to really connect with these beings. And I love how you said, like, you have a belief that you should suffer, and that's attached to suffering too. I think as you kind of like, which makes sense. Yeah, I think which once again, like, just like Ari said, once you kind of change the beliefs, which I'm fascinated, like, I'm the Gemini giving you ninth house advice. He's the Sag giving you third house advice.
Right.
And I took a 6th and 12th house perspective now that you put it in that context.
Wow. So
I said reality and illusion. I like
yeah.
those two perspectives from it. That's so funny. We did
That's
the full beautiful.
So, you know, changing your perception all around. And main message for you, Mike, is don't be afraid to believe in what you believe, even if it's like different, because you're bringing that different energy to come into deeper understanding. You know how to make it make sense. I'll say that.
Yeah.
Sure.
Yeah.
And that's the thing. Yep. It feels like, Mike, it's definitely a challenge right now because of people around you too. Like it's like you gotta like kind of break away from those limitations, because the people around you have limitations on themselves too. And so it's really important for you to just be like, you know, I'm stepping into my power. I'm gonna be different. You know, I'm not gonna listen to these people, or not even gonna argue with them about what they think God is or what they think spirit is, or even things like that, because you have your own innate wisdom within, and therefore you already know what's supposed to happen. For the suffering, yes, you're definitely correct, Mike, with that. You think you have to suffer because of some program as well. So that's why I recommended that you do inner child work, so when you go back into the inner child to see where it came from. Okay. It's really important for you to do this because it's something that you're going to be able to help people with as well. Okay.
Now, I do have to head off, but why don't we go ahead and do the last two? We have Leah in conversion. If Leah in conversion can just let us know if they have a question. Otherwise, because they're both channeled.
Conversion wanted to talk about her life now up until her Saturn return. It was something like that.
Was it her Saturn return or was it her solar return?
Solar return. Yeah, because she already had a Saturn return.
Okay. So was it channeled?
Yeah.
And then who was before her?
So first we have Leah, and then we have conversion. Yeah.
Cool.
You're welcome, Mike.
Like Britney Spears. Oh my God, we grew up in the era of Britney Spears. That's crazy.
Seriously.
Right. Last 2 decades, man.
We grew up in the formation of so many things that have been regurgitated since then.
Right.
The creation of certain types of entertainment, like we got to grow up through that and watch it now be repeatedly done. Just like I imagine so many of our parents and grandparents must have felt watching our TV shows. So, Leah, it's so funny you said fly with mine. The channeled message that I was seeing wasn't even words. It was just like this vision. It was the night sky, and there was this forest, and it was super cool in the air. And I just saw this owl just sort of hovering over the landscape. To me, this is about astral travel. This is about meditation. This is about letting yourself spend some time remembering the silence of the owl totem, because we had talked before about you having the owl totem and having such a strong natural connection to it, and it was the it feels like it's time for you to embody that and to have your connection with it. The silent flight of the owls is like it's magical, the ability to retrieve what you need from this world and to be able to do so with a level of inherent clarity, like inherent certainty and vision, and the ability to detect what it is you're looking for. And it feels like it's time for that. It's time for some meditation. It doesn't even have to be in the conventional way, but it feels like the night is, of course, when your abilities are going to be spiking for you in particular. And it feels like that would be the perfect time to do some astral travel, guided meditation, but specifically spending your energy on the focus on your breathing and focusing from the point of view of the owl totem, because having that connection will just, I don't know, it feels like it's going to bring you a simple clarity that removes so much of these other questions and ideas and things that are getting in the way off the table. The thing is, that for all of the great philosophical, deep questions we ask about the universe, so many of them can be explored through extreme silent simplicity and the ability to just really observe and be aware and pay attention to what's happening around us. So it feels like that's why it's coming up for you, and it feels really feels like it's time. It feels like it's like an initiation almost.
Awesome. All right, Leo, let me go ahead and tap in. Okay, so I saw kind of like scales, like Libra scales, but I also heard justice. There seems to be like a powerful concept behind this for you in particular, understanding what that even means for you. It is not like a karmic force, it's more like a settlement or a balance of energies. And so with that being said, when you think of someone getting their just deserves or deserts or getting what they deserve karmically, things like that, it's not in a negative way. It's more like understanding that the reasoning behind it, there's a lesson behind it. So that's where the wisdom comes in. That's where the owl totem comes in, the wisdom behind the lesson. Okay, so for you, if you're going through some situations with difficult people, for example, it's good to just go within and ask these questions. It's like, okay, why am I being confronted with this difficult situation? And then explore that. Like, what is it that you feel that the situation is going to lead towards? Is it going to lead towards a beautiful lesson for you and the person, or is it going to be more of like a reflection of what needs to be overcome? It feels like there's a lot of that happening with opposing forces in your life, with people who are at a different mindset, a different level of understanding, as well as with a need for you to have compassion for yourself and them, and have that proper time for yourself to do self-evaluation, where that wisdom comes in. Your innate connection to that owl totem is something that is necessary at this time, so that you could understand, so you can then see and reflect that, hey, this has nothing to do with me, and then, or if it does have something to do with you, so what is it exploring about my personality? What is it that I need to learn? Things like that. So definitely reflection, time for reflection. Okay, so that's what I have for you, Leah. Hey, Gemini, it's your turn.
I gotta actually tune in for this one. Pick it up. Cause
You got distracted.
no, what I didn't want to say it at first because it was kind of like what I was picking up was a little bit dark, so I wanted to kind of like tune a little bit more. Honestly, these days, even when I'm distracted, I'm not distracted or distracted. It's crazy. It's, my distractions are distracted. But I got like this serious death card vibe, but I really want to like tune in a little bit more, see what I pick up, because it's not really like in a depressing way, but more so like in a gangster way, where it's this theme of like, okay, now it's coming. So initially what I saw was just like black, like um almost like a time or day of reckoning energy, where once again it's similar to the horse analogy. This is more so the unconscious dialogue that's happening as white noise, that can contribute to fidgetiness or uncomfort that others will feel in your presence. But it's like any type of, not negativity, right? But any type of unresolved pain, trauma, any type of, that type of petty dynamic where someone clearly has an issue, but they don't want to bring it up, but it's the energy they're bringing with them. It's like your energy is bringing it up to be resolved then and there. Not like you're at a place right now where you're not moving into this next cycle with that. So with anyone who it's coming up with, it's just like this gangster, like, we're dealing with this right now, right here. And it's going to color the conversations it is coloring the conversations you're having with people. Now I'm picking up that you're wrapping up on this. So not that this is new, you're finally concluding with this cycle. And if anything, it's also a great period to now have some people or energies or influences that took it the wrong way to now kind of come back and kind of with this retrograde that just passed too, and now apologize and now kind of really, because I'm picking up there's certain falling outs you've had with people that now they're in a much more sober position to kind of like give a heart to heart, whereas before they were just too extreme and shut you out. So I would say over the next 2 weeks, when we start this new cycle, it's going to bring back people in that old cycle in a sense where it's like, I'm sorry, I shouldn't have talked to you like that, or I should have apologized. So this could be even some cases with people who you would never thought would ever like humble themselves and do that. So that's amazing.
Nice.
And now conversion.
That's I think I saw her comment. Rebecca, I think that's what it is.
Yep. Solar return on April 20.
420.
Master Aries. So the message I have for you is the end of your entire world, but more so as a liaison. It's like you're transitioning a bit of the older generation, but also kind of connecting with our generation in order to really facilitate and transition one end and facilitate a new beginning. Because especially knowing your Saturn is in Sagittarius, once it goes into Aqua, you're now fully manifesting like everything your return blessed you with. This is going to take the concreteness of Cap and just have you rocket socket. So honestly, from now to your solar return is you completely forever shedding the layer of how you've seen yourself because of your own life experience. Like you've done things the past 2 years that have made you look at what you can do, what you're capable of, and who you are in such new ways that you're now going to apply this. So that by the time you step into your solar return, It's like, this is who I've become. And it's going to be so empowering because whereas before you might have been unsure of yourself because of certain things you believe that might not be mainstream, now you don't care because your own character legitimizes more beliefs that others might be a bit closed off to. So that's really what this period represents: deep reflection and deep acceptance of parts of yourself that have taken you a while to accept, that you're finally more than ever like embracing. And I just see you coming to shoulder like, I'm amazing. Like, I'm a bad bitch. Like, I get it done. Like, anyone would be lucky to work with me. So yeah, it's really dope. Cat Moon Club.
Yeah, it's really interesting too, because the feeling I get, it feels almost like you're entering a foreign land. Like it's going to be so important for you this next month to start in the physical, when it comes to like physical things, possessions, financial security in general. It feels like for you, it's going to be so important for you to explore all types of new different things, see what these things are, see what your connection is to them, and not go off of the old paradigm. Because in a way, there's this like old paradigm that's very inherent in you, which is actually a positive one in a lot of ways. It's about responsibility, and it's about your connections to people, about what's important, and what your connections are to your friends. How do you treat your friends? It feels though the reason this paradigm is going to be evolving and changing is because you're entering a different place now in your life. You're entering a different age, both metaphorically and literally. And this is going to be, it's going to be something that's extremely transformative. You're never going to be the same after this one in particular. There are other years that feel like, they almost connect to each other in a way, like phases, like 22, 23, and 24. But in this particular case, this is like its own year, and it's outside of the matrix. It's like outside of all of the other linear concepts that you've been operating on. And it's so important you do that, because it will show you what you really believe and what you don't really believe in.
All right, let's see, Rebecca. Keep hearing your root. So grounding. What are your thoughts on how you perceive your foundation on this planet? Like, what is it that you really are solid on, like you have full faith in? That's one thing that needs to be explored, because it feels like you're on rocky foundation right now. It feels like your root chakra needs some assistance in grounding and rooting. It's like going deeper into yourself and understanding what your needs really are, not just because someone told you. Okay. Another thing that I'm picking up is the same thing that Mike and Jax are picking up on, is that material, wealth and things like that. The concept of it, is it the same that you believe in, or is it someone else's belief? All right, exploring what's yours and what's not. That's something really important for you to do in order for you to step out of your comfort zone, which was, again, these programs that were taught to you, and to explore your own reality and how you're creating that now. So that's where that foundation is going to shift, and that's why that foundation is rocky. That's why it's not stable, because you're kind of like digging it back up, and you're trying to figure out what's yours, throwing putting it, leaving it there, throwing out the stuff that's not yours. And so with that, your ideologies in that very way, what do you believe you deserve? What do you believe should be a happy life? What do you believe should be a fulfilling life, an emotionally fulfilling, as well as, stable, feeling like you finally are on stable ground? Like, what does that look like? This is something that is definitely really important for you. So that you can know exactly what direction you want to take for your next step. Okay, so that's what I'm picking up on you, Rebecca.
Amen. So we are going to close off here. Thank you guys so much for tuning in once again. And you know what it is. You know what it do. Starface, J Trizzle, and the dealer signing out.
See you
Y'all
later.
All right,
stay
bye
blessed.
guys.
Have fun.
Peace.
All right, that's awesome.